It's Rinch from Rinch Productions, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make a moonlight transformation. You've probably heard of the new show Moon Knight, and there's a few transformations in that show which I kind of did my own thing with it, and I kind of combined everything I saw. Obviously it's not the exact same thing, but I think it came out pretty good. So yeah, I haven't seen any other tutorials on this topic, obviously because the show is really new. If you do enjoy this video though, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and let's begin. So, we're gonna start this off in After Effects. So first thing we need is to 3D track our shot. Of course, if your shot is still and is on a tripod, you just skip this step immediately. But if you need to 3D track your shot, I'm gonna show you a method that get the 3D tracking data from After Effects and transfer it into Blender. Usually, you only can do that into Cinema 4D. So for this method, you will need Cinema 4D. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the tracking data, import it into Cinema 4D, and then export that as an FBX, which you can open in Blender. So for this method to work, you actually need to have Cinema 4D also. If you don't have Cinema 4D, you will need to unfortunately track the scene in Blender, which will take a lot more time than this method, but it is what it is. So after you trim your footage, it's always nice to add the color correction that you want to have, so you can better match the lighting in Blender. Go onto the tracking panel and then click Track Camera. Okay, once you've tracked your shot, select a few points to create just a basic plane and camera. These ones are pretty accurate, and that's also going to show me in Blender where I am standing. Create this, so now I know that this is where the wall is going to be. I have this track. You're going to select everything, and you're going to go into File, Export, Maxon Cinema 4D Exporter. Here's our track. We'll need to fix the time here. So yeah, you fix your time here, and then you go ahead and just export this as a FBX. Okay, now we can finally go into Blender. Now, as I said again, if you don't have Cinema 4D, you can't do this method. You will need to track it in Blender, which you can look up a tutorial on that. And you're gonna go File, Import, FBX. There is it. So you open it, and now you have the camera tracked in. In most cases, the scale is going to be like really enormous. Go into the camera settings, and then here on the clip end, you just make it a really big number, and there you go. Now you have the scene 3D tracked automatically in Blender. The only downside is that you will need to make everything a lot bigger, because you can see the distance is really exaggerated, but that's really the only downside to this method. Go on top of here and then click this plus sign, go to VFX and then motion tracking, then open the footage of your shot. Go into the Solve panel and then go here and then go set as background. So now you can actually see the footage as your background. Then go into the layout again, and now as you can see, the camera is moving with your shot and everything is tracked in. Next step is to import the 3D model of Moon Knight. This is the original 3D model that I got. That's probably the best one that I could find for free. I'm gonna leave a link into the description. But what I did is I made quite a bit of changes to this model. So this is the kind of re-sculpted model, and it's obviously without the hood, because we're gonna render this as 3 different passes. The first pass is gonna be only the body, which will be animated. Then the second pass will be only the head with the hood, and then the third pass will be the cape. Obviously, this is how I did it. You can do it in only one pass and render everything all together, but this way you really have a lot more control over everything. I don't know if I'm gonna leave a link for this 3D model into the description, because it's not really mine. I just resculpted the model that I found. So next thing I did is I rigged this with Mixamo basically, and I just applied a basic breathing animation. So next thing you do is just go into the camera and position the 3D model where you are in the shot. Pretty simple. Okay, so after you've adjusted your 3D model to be aligned with you in the shot, what you're gonna do is we're gonna separate the head from the body. And how we're gonna do that is basically we're gonna select the whole part of the head. That will probably take a bit of time by using the box select tool. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm not gonna really do this in detail, but you really need to go into detail and go even inside and then select the head vertices. You go here and then you click separate selection. Now once you have that, what you're gonna do is go into select the head, and then go into the viewport settings, go into the visibility, and you're gonna click shadow catcher. So this way, once you render this, you won't see the head on the body parts, but you'll see the shadow of the head. By the way, for the materials, I'm also going to show you what I did. For the eyes, it's a basic emission shader, and for the whole body, I used only one material, which is basically just a carpet texture that I got from a website. I can probably leave it in the description if you want the exact texture. Obviously, it's not the same as the TV show version because I couldn't find like a mummy texture. Okay, now for the actual transformation. So we can hide the head real quick. So once you've aligned, your character with your body and has its, all of its animations and everything, the next step is actually doing the transformation of the body and only the body. That's really important. That's why we also separated the head from the body, because we're gonna make the transition only happen on the body, and we're gonna use some clever masking modifiers to make the transition. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for the video I saw on this. What we're gonna do basically is go to the modifiers tab. We're gonna add a new modifier, which is the vertex weight edit modifier. Okay, and then we're gonna add a mask modifier. What you're gonna do is go to the vertex group settings and then create a new vertex group. Call it whatever you want, really. So what we're gonna do then, go into the modifier tab again, and select on both of these the vertex group that we just made. Okay, so now you should see your character disappear. So let's just hide the mask modifier for now. Check the group add box, then go into the influence tab. You're gonna go create a new mask texture. Then here you're gonna go local. You're gonna change this to object. Now what we're gonna do is create a new object, which will be, it could be anything, but I'm just gonna create a empty. This empty will control our transition, and then go in here again and then select this empty in the object panel. Go in here and click the brush options. Here you're gonna click blend, and then here from horizontal we're gonna go vertical. You can also do horizontal if you want. Then in colors you're gonna enable color ramp, just have more control, and you can really play around with the settings here. For example, you can up the contrast a bit. You can do a lot of things really. Also, last thing, for this to work, you need to go in here and into the fall off type. You're gonna click a custom curve, and then here you're gonna go and pull this up right here, so it's always almost 1, and there you have this pretty much working. So now what you're gonna do is by moving this, you will see that our transition will be appearing, but what you will see is that it's appearing the wrong way. It's actually coming from behind, and it's not coming from the front. And go into the brush settings, or the mask texture settings, and just invert the color ramp by sliding the white here and then the black onto the other side. And now when you move this will just gradually appear like this. And so you just animate the position of this empty, and you get your body appearing in the shot. Obviously, I think that's, I don't even need to tell you this, but you obviously need to match the lighting of your shot with the lighting in Blender. And what I did is I basically just added a normal point light, and I put it at the exact same place that there was a lamp in the real shot. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then after you match the lighting, you will just render this as a body pass, and that's only the body. So next thing we're gonna do is the head pass, and you can totally delete the body, or you can put this as a shadow catcher. Now we have the head and the hood. The hood also comes with the 3D model that I will provide in the description from the guy that made it. I also kind of resculpted the head a bit, so it has a bit more details, and I kind of changed the position of these. But what you need to do is, the head will usually be parented to the rig, because when we separated the head, it was already parented, but the hood will probably not be parented to the rig. So let's enable the armature, and what you will do is select the hood where it's kind of in the right place, and then you shift select the rig. Then you're gonna go into pose mode, and then you're gonna select one of the bones that it's close to the head, for example this one, and then you go Control P to bone. And so now this hood will be parent it to the armature, as you can see. So now basically for the hood, what I did is use the same technique with the mask modifiers. So I'm not going to show it again. I just did the exact same thing and then just animated the empty. And for the head animation appearing, we're going to do this in After Effects. Actually, we're not going to do it in here because there's no point. So now the last step is the cape pass. Again, the cape is just a plane that I literally just, as you can see, even the typology is terrible, but you know, I just did it in like 3 minutes. And here you can see it's attached to the body, but again you should again parent this to the armature the same way that we did with the hood. So now obviously what we need to do is make this an actual cape. What you will do is add a cloth modifier in here. So now you basically need to kind of replicate the settings that I use. The mass is 2.2 kilograms. The tension is 100. I'm not sure what's the default one. The main thing you need to do is enable collisions. You're gonna go object collisions and self collisions. Most importantly, you're gonna go into the body and add a collision to it. Next thing is the pin group, because now if you play the animation, your cape will just fall through the air. So what you need to do is go into edit mode and then select the basically where the cape is touching your character, as you can see, kind of like this. And then what you're going to need to do is go and add a new vertex group, which call it whatever you want, and then you'll click assign. So now all these vertices are assigned to the pin vertex group. So now go in here again and into the shape options, you have a pin group, and you just select that pin, you know, that vertex group that you just made. Now last thing is I added some wind, as you can see. Basically just go in here into the force field options, and then you add wind or force or everything. And you do need quite a bit of force on the wind. I added, as you can see, 2500, and yeah, and a bit of noise also. And that's basically it for the cape. You just hide everything else, and then you render this only as the cape pass. Okay, and then after that we are basically done with Blender. Now we're back in After Effects, where we're gonna composite everything together. Basically, you're gonna take your footage and then you're gonna put all the all the passes on top of it. You can see there's the body pass. Okay, so once you put everything together, it should look something like this. I don't really have the cape pass because I deleted it a mistake, but you get what I mean. You just put the cape pass behind these layers, and you know, that's it. So now what we're gonna do is the transition of the actual head. Your pen tool, and you're gonna select your head. Then you're gonna draw like some, like, you know, kind of this kind of shape around your head, which will be the. So now what we're gonna do is, using the mask expansion, we're gonna just animate the head appearing, but we obviously need to put the mask on subtract. And so now once you animate the expansion, you will get the mask appearing, right? We're gonna add something else though. We're gonna add Venation blinds to this. Then you're gonna increase the feather quite a bit, something like this. And then the next thing is, obviously we need to add some shadows, because now there's not really any shadows. What I always use is just the radio shadow effect. And now what we're gonna do is the color correction, something like this, contrast, I mean. With the background also, except the colors, you will need to match also the black levels. So as you can see, this is the kind of the darkest point here, and the darkest point here is going to be right here. And as you can see, it's a bit lighter, so you need to make it even a bit more dark. So now in here to the whole comp, I added some noise, because there is noise in the actual footage, and you need to kind of match you know, the noise. I added some, obviously added some fog on top of everything, just to kind of tie everything together. The last thing I did is these glowing eyes. The way you make these eyes is pretty simple. So what you're gonna do is create a new white solid. you're gonna hide it, and then you're gonna create a new mask. Then you're gonna kind of mask the shape of your eye. Go in here, check the mask path option, I mean the keyframe on this, and you just go frame by frame, and you need to adjust the position of this to the eye. What I did after that is I just added some glows, so you just type in glow. Now after some final touches with some sound effects, some music, some color grading, you get the final results. So this is it for the video. I hope you liked it, and till next time.